Good day. Good day, everyone. Welcome to Technical Tuesdays. And it's your Coach Clayton, back in the building, right? So I'm back. I know you had an extremely good time with Coach Edwin, right? For the couple of weeks that he did the Technical Tuesdays. But yeah, it was a I was on a sabbatical, right? And for the new students, right? I'm Coach Clayton, so I'm the technical weekly analysis, coach. And welcome to everyone who's watching around the world. Welcome to the Connect Trade and Grow group as well. If it's the first time you're seeing me, I say greetings towards you as well. Let me just see the comments. I say good day, coach. I don't know who you are, right? But just please, if you can. just allow StreamYard just to use your name as your comment as well. So I'm grateful for everyone who's gonna be watching today. It's gonna be an interesting one, and for the students, you will know that we go over right the instruments that you have emailed the admin team right on a Friday, and on a Sunday we go over it, right, we analyze it, and then technical Tuesdays is where we go over it, right, and see how the market progress, right, regarding price action, regarding those particular instruments, right. Also, I need to highlight that there is also going to be a fast track, right, on the 11th and the 12th of December. So if you are not part of that as yet, please, comment hashtag 11, right. The reason why the 11 is for that's when the fast track will start, and the admin team will gladly assist you, right, especially for the Trade and Grow group, right. If you're wondering what it is all about, just put in hashtag 11, and the admin team will know exactly what to do, right? And so they will privately message you regarding that and send you more details, right? So we're excited for tonight, right? We're excited for tonight or today because I know it's nighttime in South Africa. Yes, I am in South Africa. It's good. It's summer this side. It's starting to get summer. It's a nice weather, right? Coach Brian will tell you more about that. Yeah. So what we have currently, and we can just go to the charts, right? So this is what we had, right? Let me just keep it as that. And so like I said, the Tixie is our denominator, right? If you don't know by now that whenever the Tixie move in a direction, it has a negative or positive impact around the market, right? So it affects all instruments, whether it's indices, whether it's futures, whether it's currencies, crypto, right? Who knows that Bitcoin went up, right, for a couple of days? But how many of you know that the dollar was getting weak, right? And so that's just one of the ways how we can see how the market works, right? And so, like I said, the Tixie is our denominator throughout every week. So I use the Tixie as a reference point um, to guide our trades, right? And so we also focus on Nevada. I say that an instrument like that, but it's also known as NVDA, right? The triple Q also, the S&P 500 and gold. And if you have taken note as well, um, the dollar was weak, right? And gold was in the positive. So gold went long, and the Dixie went short. Again, that's why I love to use the Dixie as a corresponding pair. Also, shout out to Chantal, right, all the way from South Africa as well. I'm also glad to be here, right? I see you comment as well. So, for now, I just need to say from the record, right? I don't play like Coach Shadwin, right? Although Coach Shadwin, we price action goes the same direction in which we see, but the way how we get there to the same destination is sometimes it's totally different, right? Um, he will look at certain things, right, and I will also look at certain things, but at the end of the day, If it's going long, it's going long. It's going short, it's going short. Now, if you're a student and you were watching from, if you're new, I love train lines, right? I love it. I love it so much because it gives me a framework to work from. And regarding the way how I analyze the Dixie, right, we can notice, right, even on the 2 hour, and if we can go to the 4 hour as well, just to give a nice framework to work from. And so when we see what we are seeing, we have noticed that price action dropped from this particular high, and it also made a double top, right? And I can just indicate that as well to you, right? So made a double top, and that was a biggest clue that a downtrend will possibly happen, right? And if you have for the students, if you have watched the previous weekly analysis, I have indicated that this low played a vital role, right? And from there I just draw down my downtrends, and now we are forming a downtrend, right? And so once we have this in place, we current price is and just to give a heads up, I didn't with my weekly analysis, I didn't draw out these particular um, trend lines, right? But this is just to give you a framework of how price action moved. Now I have highlighted, and I highlighted this demand zone in which price action will respect, or it will break through it and try to reach lower lows, right? As the downtrend will go accordingly, right? But if we go to our 2 hour time frame, you can readily see that regarding this trend line, price action respected it, right? And you have this seen lower lows. I have said that if price action plays within this demand zone, it is most likely that price action will break through, in which it had, right? But I also highlighted if price action drops significantly, there will be a reaction, right, from that demand zone. However, we have not seen it, and we have seen that price action was going down in a slow, if I could put it that in a nice context. Um, and for the students will know that I also emphasizes or emphasize here market structure, right, and candle structure. And in this case, candle structure is not significantly in a where the buys will be dominant, right? So we have seen that the sellers are dominant, and it played in this particular demand zone, and it dropped to a next opposing demand zone. Now with that, we always adjust, right? And if you got the market wrong, you know it is always another day. We love to trade another day, right? As Coach Cindy will always say. But when we look at where price action respected, right? And when it comes to this time of the day, I love the Goma daily time frame, right? I love the Goma daily time frame, and I see Coach Clayton, Coach Clayton, Coach Coach Kalen is saying we are live. It's nice to be back. Yeah. So we wasn't now. Okay, there we go. So we always see where price action coming to this time of the day, right? We always see what is price action telling us, And so with our two what sorry with our 4 hour and our 2 hour time frame, I like to go to my daily time frame, right? And if you don't know, the daily time frame represents how price action moves for that particular day. And in this case, we have seen that we have a rally, right? We have a base, we have a drop into another base, into a drop, right? So that is key to take note of, and I'll move this to my right hand side. Let me just delete that previous arrows so we don't get confused, right? So when we go to our daily time frame, we can see how price action moved, right? Regarding a Monday and Tuesday, right? So yesterday and today, we can see how price action moved. Now, I never checked my left hand side, but when we go to our left hand side, we can see that price action respected a rally, base rally, right? And so within that, the students will know that that is a demand zone, right? And the higher the time frame, the stronger the zones are, right? Whether it will be supply or demand. And so with that, we just move it across, right? And yeah. So once we have this, picture in mind, tomorrow, tomorrow it can either form a base or it can form a rally, right? I don't like a for me market structure if there's a really a drop, push drop, and there's another drop. That will be a news, right? News will play a vital role within that. And so we're saying that we go to our forex factory, right? And we can see what will happen for tomorrow. Now remember, these times are in South Africa, right? So you just need to correspond that, you know, according to your time zone, right? Um, so with the forest factory, we need to analyze how price action will formulate regarding these particular news. Now, a hint will be, hello, Michael. It's good to see you, sir. As Greg, I also see Greg's comment. Oh, the tagging. Sorry. I see the tag. Yeah. So coming back to Forex Factory, the hint will be that we need to follow the files that has a read, right? The files that is read, and that will give us a perspective of how the market will move. Now, this also depend on what or how you trade regarding your London session or your New York session, right? Or your Asian session if you like. Um, but for me, I like to trade the London and New York, so I will filter the news regarding that particular time frame, right? And so the London session in South Africa will be 8 or 9 a.m. right in the morning, and then around about 2 New York will kick in, right? New York session, and so and this also depends on what type of instruments you're trading, and so this is more for the currency, right? But like I said, the dollar is the denominator for all, the way how the market will move, right? And so the dollar, there is a premium or prelim, GBP, right? Had to be at opposite three. Like I said, you just need to check your time regarding your time zone in your country. And then, yeah, we also have crude oil, etc., etc. So, with this, you can now afterwards see if the prelim GBP will be good or bad, right? And we must translate it to the market. And this is how I will deal with it, right? And let me just highlight my supply zone quick, right? So there we have it. So there we highlighted our supply zones. Now remember, this particular, I'm still respecting this downtrend, right? However, if price action comes to London, right, and it starts to make higher highs, right, and it's starting to test this downtrend. Now, because it has been tested this downtrend for, quite a few touches, right, there might be a possibility that it might break that downtrend and reach the supply zone, right? Let me just zoom in a bit and let's go to a lower time frame as well. Because I know on my daily time frame that price action respected this demand zone, right? However, uh, here we go. When price action comes up, right, and break that downtrend, reach that supply zone, and it starts to play. This can be in London session, right? There can be a possibility when the New York session opens and the news kick in. There can be a breakout to the upside and reach our next opposing supply zone, right? But also remember, take note of that particular downtrend as well, right? Because it might respect this downtrend within a particular supply zone, right? However, there can be also price action going down and retesting this demand zone, right? And then have a reaction to the upside where price action will go long, right? So this have a vision. I always tell the students always have vision on the chart, right? So let's picture that as a double bottom, right? Um, and so that is why I love the London session and the New York session, right? And sometimes the London session will will pave the way for the New York session, right? And especially regarding how the day will operate. So once we have that in place, we can go to our daily time frame again, and now we can anticipate if price action, is going down regarding the London session, right? You can see if it's gonna make lower lows or higher highs, right? Let me just go back to the 2 hour because I know, right? I know I'm taking a lot of time here. How and I just want to say this. However, when price action comes down to this demand zone, and this can be the London session as well, if it starts to play within this demand zone, then there can be a possibility that it can go deeper, right, into this demand zone and find a solid foundation, right? And then afterwards it can rise up. Now you can tell me, coach, but you're just guessing here. I'm not guessing. This is the way how price action move with market structure, right? And as well with candle structure. These patterns is for the students who take note of the weekly analysis, you would understand how the market moves, right? Um, because sometimes it can be a fake out, right? And it can be a break of structure, and this can play with the various instruments or various news that can happen, right? And sometimes if we could just correspond this to, because I know a lot of students trade the EU, right? And so if we also look at EU, we can see that there's also a uptrend that is being respected. However, it also respected a supply zone, right? We can just go to a 4 hour, and then we can look to our left hand side, and there we have it as well. It also tested a significant supply zone, right, on a 4 hour. So when we go back to where price action is, that can also play a crucial role, right? So just bear that in mind um, when trading as well. So let's go back to our instruments that the students sent through the week in. Right, so we go to NVDA, right? Let me just see if there's comments. Okay, I see Coach Kaylin is saying always pay close attention. Yes. So just drop a comment there if you're still on track. Hashtag one, right? Put the one in the chat if you're still paying attention and you're finding value. I would like to see comments, right? And if you are still there. So if we go to NVDA, and if you're a student, I like to go to my 2 hour folders to explain it, right. There we go. I highlighted that there is unfold orders over there. That's why the circles over there, right? And I also highlighted that because of this area of demand, right? This demand zone, I I didn't like it, right? Because it is showing weakness, right? And if you know a course, you will know all enhances what we look for. And one of them was freshness, right? I didn't like it. It was not fresh. And so for me, I would say that price action will reach a next opposing demand zone. And I would say that price action will play, if price action play within this demand zone, it will break it and reach our next opposing demand zone, right? And in this case, it respected it again, the third or second time, and it raised a bit and it dropped again, right? But with that, you can now extend your trend line as well. See how price action will test that, right? And even if you go to a lower time frame, to a 1 hour, you can now see how many times price action respected that demand zone. And this is a glimpse that this demand zone is a little bit of weak, right? Have a zone weakness. So hopefully tomorrow um, it will drop, right? And reach our next demand zone, and then we take it from there. There's nothing extra I can add on to this, right? It's just that that demand zone, let me just highlight it. Yeah, this demand zone is showing weakness, and price action will potentially reach our next opposing demand zone, right? Which is this one over here. And it will have or fold orders right where the circle is, right? So once we have that, we can go to the triple Q. Now the triple Q was a little bit interesting, right? Let me just go to the 4 hour to see. Okay, it looks a bit messy. Let's go to 2 hour. Okay, let's stay on the 1 hour to explain this. Right now, the students will know. For the students who watch the weekly analysis, I highlighted this uptrend, right? And so with this uptrend, I say that price action. Now, normally you will know when how price action move, right? And so if you look at it from a external point of view, if I can put it in that context, right? You have a rally, and now we're having a consolidation, right, happening. You saying, Coach, how do you know it's a consolidation? I will just highlight I will just put another supply zone to highlight that as well. So there we have it, right? That is supply zone. So now price action is playing within this particular area. So remember, we have a rally, we have a base, right? And so now this base is a consolidation, right? So regarding what I initially highlighted is that I said price action can break this uptrend, right, and reach to our demand zone. But it can reach to our demand zone and retrace as well. But that will indicate that the buys are evident and they are strong within the market, right? And I said, however, if price action drop and start to play within this demand zone, then we can expect price action to make lower lows as well, right? However, we have seen a price action break or broke or terminated this uptrend, reach this area of demand, right? And had a retracement, but now afterwards it is now showing a consolidation, right? Now this is we if you're a new student and this can be and you trade in a triple Q, this will be a nice exercise to how to trade a consolidation, right, trend. Um, and we can see how the triple Q will fall towards and show similar patterns within the S&P 500 and gold as well, right? So with the triple Q, you want to see how the day always performs, and there we can see how consolidation happened within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and how consolidation happened within 5 days, right? So that is equivalent to a week, and but remember that is how the week is at the moment, right? So like again, I said from the beginning of the live, I said I don't try like Coach Edwin, right? But we reach to a similar direction, right? And our trading reach to the same direction. Now, if we look at this, we have strong weeks, right? So, and like I said in our weekly analysis, that remember there is a few days in which we will see the month will close, but also our price action will project itself for the near future, right? For for next year as well. So just have a look at that when you're trading, right? So we go to the back to the daily time frame, and like you said, there's a consolidation happening, and then on the 4 hour, we can see how price action is also moving, right? Like I said, in consolidation, and the 2 hour time frame is showing exactly the same. So going forward, this might be tricky, right? And the only time or the only event, that will circle, right, is going up or is going to go down. And for me, I don't trade with how where price action is. I always trade it at a supply or a demand zone, right? So going forward, once you start to see that price action is playing within this particular supply zone, price action can try to reach higher highs, right? Or if price action drops and it plays within a particular demand zone, it can drop to the downside. But we all know, for the students that are trading for a while, we all know that price action, right? It can drop, reach the demand zone, have a retracement again, right? Play in this area, reach that supply zone, drop again, and so forth and so forth. So just bear in mind, right, when we do this and when we analyze this as well. Um, so yeah, let me see if there's any questions. Any questions? I see Michelle. It's nice to see you again. um, I see Michael saying value, value, value. Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. Just let me know if you want a break within the chat, or do you think I must go on and highlight the S&P 500 and gold, right? And like I said, the triple Q, like I said, the triple Q is going in the sideways direction, right? And the S&P 500 is going in, is also consolidating. Consolidating, right? So again, this is the nuggets. This is secret nuggets, in which you can correspond to different instruments as well. And let's take a chance with gold as well, right? Now gold just went up, gold, but we will get there. Just let me know in the comments, comment section, right? Okay, so okay, I see the the series is saying go on. Um, you see, that's a tricky part, right? Because there's not a lot of information. Because remember, I'm gonna answer Michael's question, right? If I'm favoring the triple Q going down or up, what I can say is this: because the war is on, right, and they is trying to get in peace. Um, it's very hard to say. If the war wasn't there, and because if you see how the S&P 500, right? Let me just zoom in again. The S&P 500 is consolidating, right? And we have the triple Q consolidating. It's hard to say. Um, I would say going up, going long, right? The only reason why, if we consolidate a lot, right, and it tests that supply zone a couple of times, then I would say it will go long, um, because the buys are strong. Like I said, easy, right? The war plays a vital, I won't say a vital role, um, but it plays a instrumental role within how the market is operating currently. So the reason why it is consolidating, because the institutions, the hedge funds, the stakeholders within the market, all the stakeholders, the banks, the central banking, they all, um, exactly. We need to wait and see for break of structure, right? So that's the the challenging part, right? But if, however, you're not comfortable with trading with the triple Q, you can trade other pairs in the meanwhile, right? So just be that, at the back of your mind as well. Yeah. So like I said, um, the S&P 500 will be the same as the NAS, right? Because it is on the same candle structure and the same market structure. So with that, we can also draw out our supply zone, right, on top, right? And like I said, same with the triple Q, that I drawed out the uptrend, right? And now we see that price action violated that uptrend. And now we start to see the consolidation happening, right? And I did say that price action will try to reach this area demand zone and go long again, right? However, with the triple Q, the same as the triple Q, it started to consolidate again. And like I said just a few seconds ago, this is all got to do with the war, in my opinion. And if they get resolve the issues regarding the two countries and whoever is involved, then the market will correspond to that as well. But like I said, I will highlight it again. If price action start to play within the supply zone, right, it can go long, right? Or price action will drop and consolidate and drop to reach our next opposing demand zone. So that is what I'm seeing within the market. Um, and if you're lucky, and this is where you come in and you go search, regarding news and the countries and what is the news saying about, the S&P 500 as well as triple Q. And if you do your analysis and all your findings is going that, what, the market's gonna go long, then go long. If you find out that the market is going short, go short, right? So that's all the interesting part of how the market can operate, right? So lastly, we go to gold, right? And let me just go to a high time frame for this. And for the students, right, I have highlighted that because price action was testing the supply zone a couple of times, right? And remember, I said that, you know, the Dixie, right? The Dixie is the denominator, right? So, right, so the Dixie is the denominator for the week. And when we see the Dixie is going weak or going short, right? Gold is going long, right? So it's the inverse. Um, So this backdates that theory a bit, right? It can help with the trading, for a long time, right? So when we look at gold, and I said, regarding the weekly analysis, then we look to our left hand side, right? And for the new students, I always say this, that I just indicate this horizontal lines just to highlight my supply zones, right? And if you want to throw out a supply zone, right, to your benefit, you can do so. Especially in this case, we history, is far to the left. I just tend to draw out my horizontal lines just to indicate for me my supply zones. However, when we highlighted these particular supply zones, right, where our two horizontal lines are, right, so we have that one there, and then we also have another one over here, right? So I said that because we have this uptrend happening, right, which is because we have this uptrend happening. Let me just send it. Yeah. So once we have this uptrend happening, right, I say that price action can either break this. Sorry. Um, Here we go. So price action can either break this supply zone, right, in which it did reach that next opposing supply zone, right, and drop. So let me just throw it out there, but reach that supply zone and drop. Or if you see a play within the supply zone, right, and the play was in this area, that would have given you a hint, yo. So if you watch the weekly analysis, and I think Mr. Charger, he initially highlighted gold, right, and there was another student, but I can't get you to that individual's name. But when we see that consolidating happening, right, so this was this play, right, in which I highlighted, this was this play, and I also said once this happened, right, play within that supply zone, have a it would go long, right, to our next opposing supply zone, which is over here, right? And price action is doing that. So if you did watch the weekly analysis, and you took the trade, well done. But however, if you didn't watch the weekly analysis, please do so to get that deeper understanding as well. So yeah, but like I said, it was corresponding to the Tixi, right? And like we said, like the Tixi fell, right, made lower lows, and that was the hint, right? And we just pay careful attention, right? Like, can we all see that how price action is respecting a trend line, right? Whether it's up, whether the trend line is going down or going up. If we go to the triple Q, right? Price action was testing a trend line, right? If we go to the S&P 500, price action was testing a trend line, right? If you go to gold, price action was testing this trend line, right? Let me just highlight that, was testing this trend line. So once you start to play and start to see what the market is trying to say, you can have a better understanding going forward, right? Um, so I hope you understand. Michael Douglas, I see a comment regarding, do you mean demand zone since price already cut through? Just hold on. Yeah. Do you know, this, okay, there we go. Do you mean demand zone price? Sorry, do you mean already? You know what? You know when your brain moves so fast, right? You read ahead of time. But let me just read this question again. Do you mean demand zone since price already cut through the supply zone? Um, what do you mean? Or where was this when you saw when you highlighted that question? Was it regarding okay? I kept saying demand zone. What instrument was I referring to then? Was it gold? So I'm just waiting for their comment. But if you have comments, you're most welcome to highlight them as well. Okay, so Michael saying it's gold, right? Okay, I'm not trying to figure out demand. Um, Michael, just confirm with me. Was that when I said it was corresponding to the Dixie? Just confirm because the only way I see it now is when I confirm with the Dixie that I'm saying that the demand zone, right? Because remember the Dixie, right? Remember from the beginning of the stream, there was a demand zone over here, right? I said there was a demand zone over there, and when price action broke or term broke this demand zone, right, and reached to a next opposing demand zone. When we look at gold was breaking these supply zones, right? So when we correspond that to instruments, then we can, trading will become, you know great in another lens. Okay, Michael said it must have been. Yeah, I hope I made myself a little bit more clear regarding that. So, like I said, like gold was breaking these supply zones, right? But when you look on the Dixie was, or price action on the Dixie was breaking these demand zones. So just have a look at that. Um, yeah, and just a reminder for the everyone who's watching, especially for the Connect Trade and Grow group. We're having a fast track 2 day, right? That's happening on the 11th to the 12th of December. And if you are, you want to join, you want to be part of the family, or you just want to see, what is this people talking about, you're most welcome just to highlight hashtag 11, right? And they will introduce to you um, They will introduce to you what we do, right? And they will provide you with more information regarding that as well. Yeah. So Michael is saying also that I probably got confused mixing it with the Dixie. Yeah, and if like I said, or like all of the coaches saying, like if something don't work for you, right? You don't need to do it, right? But for some, it can be helpful, right? So the nice thing about trading, right? It is when you find your edge. It is when you find what works for you, right? And you stick to that as well. There's no right way to trade, right? Like I say, like me and Coach Chavin is two totally different traders, right? Um, I was in his class. Was it Monday? And I was looking. I was like, okay, I understand. And same applies to Coach Brian or Coach Cindy, and all the other traders. So there is much more than what we normally do, right? So yeah, just remember the fast track is happening on the 12th, right? On the 11th and the 12th of December, and then we will take it from there. I appreciate it. There's a comment saying, "Yes, sir. I'm excited about being a part of the mastermind. Thank you. No worries. There will be a admin, right, that will correspond to that, and they will get to you, right. So that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed the weekly or the technical Tuesdays, right? With your boy, with the coach Clayton, right? It's good to be back. It's good to be back, right? And I hope I made a little bit of more sense, right? So yeah, take it easy, team, um, and always stay focused, right, regarding what is going on. Thanks everyone. I seen the messages coming through. Someone is saying I already signed up and ready to learn. Come on now. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. So that's all from me, team. So take it easy and God bless. Hey, take care. Bye.